Hey guys, it's Steve with Raybuck Auto Body Parts. You guys probably have seen we have all kinds of restoration, rust repair panels for all kinds of vehicles. We're getting more heavily into the restoration side though, and we do a lot of stuff with muscle cars. So whether it's a GTO or an Impala or a Mustang, whatever the case may be, we have a lot there. I personally love, I love all the cars. I've always had an affinity for the Fastback Mustangs, and I've been looking for one for a while, and I actually found one. So you always hear about garage finds or barn finds. I didn't get a barn find this time. I did with that 29 Ford that I had a video of a while ago. But this one, it was a garage find. It was a 67 Mustang Fastback. Original car, a 22,000 mile original car. Had a few little things done to it I'm going to show you here in a second, but I just wanted to share this. I figured I'd shoot a video and show it to everyone because I pinched myself when I found this thing. I'll explain it in detail when I'm going around the car, but the car was originally purchased here in Pittsburgh, PA. It was built for a woman here, and I have the original build sheet, all the original paperwork for it, which I was blown away by because, you know, that stuff just gets thrown away somewhere along the lines. She owned it until she passed. Her estate then got it, sold it to a friend of theirs who owned it for, I think it was like 17 years. He sold it to a friend of his who owned it for 6 years, and I just happened to be kind of an acquaintance of this person. I was talking to him about a different Mustang that he had for sale. He had a 70 Boss 302. I wasn't necessarily interested in that car. It was really cool, but not really what I was looking for. I told him I was looking for a 67 or a 68, and he's like, oh, hey, come back to the corner of the garage and take a look at this. And he flipped up the cover, and lo and behold, there was a 67 Fastback sitting there. So I'm going to show you the car here in a second, and I'll show you all the details, and hopefully you guys like it as much as I did. Like I said, it's pretty unbelievable, I think. So here it is, 67 Mustang Fastback, 22,000 original mile car. The mileage was documented on the titles as it was transferred, so that is legit. I'll go around the whole car so you can see the whole thing. You'll notice a couple things that have been tweaked, but for the most part, the car, like 90-some% of the car is original. First thing you're going to notice right here is the hood scoop. That was added. So the underside of the hood was eaten away. It looked like by maybe a battery that had popped at one point in time. The previous owner was going to repaint the hood, and he decided to put this scoop on. This would not have been an option in 67. I believe it was in 68 when that came out. It is a fully functioning turn signal scoop, so that all does work. So again, if this would have been maybe a 68 or maybe even a 69, I think it was 68 though, that would have been an option. But the hood had to be repainted anyway, so he decided to put that on. I wouldn't have done it, but that's what he did. The rear quarters were touched up a little bit. From the stories that I've heard, the woman who originally owned it had scraped the quarters, not dents, not damage, anything like that, just scratches in it, going in and out of either the garage or the carport, wherever she had it. So that was touched up a little bit. Other than that, the paint is original in the car. All I did was wash it. I didn't even wax it yet, which it really does need a good waxing, but I just washed it real quick to get the dust off of it. Literally, this thing had just been sitting under a cover in the corner of that garage. So we'll walk around it. I'll show you some of the things that have been tweaked on it. One of the biggest things that was changed, well, actually, even before we do that, I'll show you. Obviously, the wheels and tires were changed. I do have the original steel wheels and hubcaps that came with the car. The previous owner had taken those off and just put these on, but I do have those. And the biggest thing that was changed, you don't notice it from here, but when I pop the hood, you'll see it. This is an original 289 car. You can see the badging on the side of the car right there. So it was a 289 car. He put a stroked 302 in it. He didn't modify anything inside the engine compartment. He had just unbolted the other one, bolted this one in, and obviously changed some hoses and stuff, and that's that. So you'll see when I pop the hood, everything else in there is original. But I do have the original motor. So he gave me the original motor and everything else that came out of the car. So I have all of the original parts that were on this car from the factory. Plop the hood here so you can see what's underneath. You can see obviously it's pretty shiny under there because he had repainted it. And then there is the 302. It's got the 289 air cleaner cover on it, but it is a 302. But if you look around the engine compartment, I mean, you can see all the original stuff, all the stickers, the tag, even if you see the shocks, the original shocks in the factory were red, so I'm guessing that these ones are original. Because nothing else was replaced. Even looking around the edge, you can see a little bit of some light rust, but Nothing too bad. And then you can see these bolts had never been taken out of the fender, so these fenders never came off. You can see a little bit of rust right here in this little overlapping piece, and there's a little bit right over here too. That was really common on these cars. That's just a piece that goes over top of the inner fender and then under the fender itself, real thin sheet metal, and it was known to rust even just if some condensation built up in there. So this was a power steering car. It was manual brakes, not a high option car, but just kind of cool with some of the options that were on it, and I'll go through those here in a second. Take a look down the side of it. It is straight. It is a super straight car. And then you'll notice, and I'll show this here in a minute, the color of the interior. It's saddle. That's one thing that really jumped out at me. I mean, this car, the color combination of this car is something that people, like, even now would order if it was available. I had a Marty report ran on it, and for this color combination, the Raven black exterior and the saddle interior, it's a 1 of 20 car. There were only 20 of these cars made with this color combination. And then there are a couple of other interesting options you'll see here in a minute as I walk around this thing. So I'll try to get a better picture of the back. This is one of the things that I thought was really cool. See if I can get some light on it. This aluminum ribbed insert, this tail light panel insert. I actually never saw a car on the road with one of these. I didn't even catch it at first, and then I started looking into it. This was an option that was available in 67 and I think 68, and then I believe that was it. So this was kind of an oddball option. I think it's super cool looking, just something a little bit different than the chrome rings you see around the tail lights. But I thought that was super cool. You can even see here's the original sticker from behind the license plate for the dealer notice to remove the tie downs. So that is really, really cool. Got an original 67 Pennsylvania plate to put on it. And then here, I'll pop the trunk so you can see inside of it. Try to get some light in here. There we go, the original trunk mat. Again, everything else is in here. So there is the spare wheel and tire. Obviously the tire had been changed, but that is the original spare wheel. And I took that out. The jack is still underneath of it. You can see the panel behind the rear seat in the cargo area, or the luggage area. And then up underneath the trunk, it even still has the jack instruction sticker. So you could tell, like, this was never painted. There's no overspray, there's nothing. If you look around the edge, I'll try to get a picture of this, you can see a little bit of surface rust right along the edge of the trunk lid there. So, I mean, for 50-some years old, I'll take that. And then here's the passenger side. So I'll pop the door, take a look at the inside, look at some of the trim options that were in there. Again, weather stripping, glass, like everything is really, really nice. So there's part of the saddle interior. If you know anything about these cars, I'm sure this jumped out at you as soon as I opened the door. This has the deluxe trim. So the deluxe trim has this center stainless strip inside the door and the little ribbed louvers along the bottom where the light is, and a couple other little options. So when you see the dash, you'll see part of it there too. You got that center stainless insert in the dash. I think it's super, super slick looking. And then a couple other little things inside the car. I don't know if you could see it, but the floor is actually like a chocolate brown. It is really, really classy looking. And then again, there's those the saddle seats, the saddle color seats, and the rear seat. Let me flip this up a little bit so you can see behind it. And there's the seat there. It's not a fold-down seat, which is fine. I don't really care. That was an option in that year. This is just the standard 2 rear seats. It does not fold down. It just has that little compartment behind it. You got the working vents on either side, and you got the courtesy lights. One of the other options you'll notice, I'll go up here, is the center console in the roof. That was an option that the woman had picked. You don't see that in a lot of the cars. And then this one again has the stainless insert in the center of it, and it's got the map lights, and the map lights do work. I'll walk around the other side so you can see. If you can see down in there, that's the rear area behind the rear seat with the original mat that's down in there. And then we'll open up this side so you can see the same thing. Again, there's the door panel, you got the seat, and then the dash. So one of the other options in here is the steering wheel. This was like a deluxe steering wheel, I think they called it. I believe the tack was added after the fact. That was not a factory option. No factory AC, just the factory heat. But one of the things that was really cool, I thought was really cool, was the radio delete. So as the story goes, this woman, when she drove, wanted to hear the sound of the car, so she ordered it without a radio. I would think that you would just get the radio and shut it off so that you at least had the radio option, but hey, back then it was more money to get the radio, so she opted to take that out and put that money into other stuff. Sorry for the lighting in here. I got some fluorescent lights and some other lights. It's not the greatest lighting, but I'm going to do my best so you can see what's in here. There's all the gauges. I'm trying to get the light out of the way, get a close-up so you can see. And there's the mileage, 22,493. So when the previous owner bought it, it had 21,000 and some change on it. In the 6 years that he owned it, he put about 1,000 miles on it. So literally, it had only been driven 21,000 miles in 45 years or so. Not too bad. So there's the interior. Even the dash. Oh yeah, I should have shown the dash. Dark brown on the top, original dash pad, not cracked, not faded, not a mark on it. It's crazy. It's like the inside of this car is like a time capsule. It's almost like no one even sat in this thing. So there it is. There is the Mustang. Like I said, I was super pumped about it. I couldn't believe that I found a car like this. I'd been looking all over for it, for one similar, but most of them had either been completely gone over or cut apart or just half-ass jobs and paint and everything else. So to find something like this, and especially in this color combination, it wasn't some weird color combination that you'd want to repaint, but you'd hate to do it because it's an original or fairly original car. Like, this is perfect, like just unbelievable. So like I said, I was pinching myself. I thought it was fantastic. So if you like what you see here, please subscribe to our channel. We're always shooting videos of other stuff. It's not always of just the parts that we sell. Like I said, this one just kind of happened to fit in because we do sell a lot of Mustang parts, but I love Mustangs and I love a lot of other cars. I mean, you can see some of the stuff in the background. There's a 37 Dodge pickup. That's got a 327 in it. It has some brake issues in the front, which we're going to work on next and hopefully get that thing back out of the garage. That's actually a pretty fast car, or a pretty fast truck. We got a 30 Ford Tudor sitting in the corner that's itching to get a Coyote and a 6-speed in it. You guys have seen the Raybuck truck, the 53. We got a 47 Pontiac Torpedo that we've been kicking around the idea of making that a land speed car. Walt's got his twin turbo Camaro. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that we're always messing around and buying and selling stuff. So like I said, if you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel. We'll try to get some more videos up. If you got any questions about this car, you want to see anything else in more detail, just post a comment and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can with either some info or a picture or another video or whatever we could do. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it.